guys. Welcome back to season 5 of the Life with Loverly podcast. So excited to be back with Nichelle.
Hi.
We are coming to you live from a brand new studio.
We are. It's gorgeous, guys.
I know. You guys can actually watch this on YouTube and see where we're sitting and what we're talking about. And we will also be showing some more of the behind the scenes of our office on our Instagram account at Life with Loverly. But how are you? I'm so happy to be back in a new season.
It feels so good to be back. I feel like we probably got to get a couple of episodes under our belt to feel it again because it's been a couple months. But it's going to feel really good once we get started.
Yeah.
I am so excited to be in this space. It feels like it was always meant to be here.
I know. And it's so pretty. The walls are pink. We've got wallpaper. We've got these great chairs that we're sitting in now. We've got like a whole production team happening here. We've got some really fun new mics this season we got lots of logo stuff going on, which feels like we're like official now that we're on season 5.
It really does. I really wish that you guys could see behind the scenes right now. It's so funny.
I know. We need to like take a phone and go this
lights,
way.
Camera, lights, camera.
Truly. But we're so excited to be back. We've got a lot of really awesome topics that we're going to be covering this season. This season doesn't have like an end date, which I am very excited about. So we're hoping to just offer the podcast like all throughout the summer. So we've got some really great topics that we're going to share. We figured, now is a great time to bring up some of these conversations that you guys have asked us, guests that y'all have wanted us to have on the podcast. You are going to get that this season. So it's going to be awesome.
You asked for more. So here we are.
Yeah, we are doing the most.
So tell everybody what's been going on since the end of last season.
Oh my goodness. You guys, I feel like it has been a whirlwind the last 4 months that we have been off of the podcast. We moved into a new office space and it is unbelievable.
It's so good. I love the feeling of it. We loved our little house.
Yes.
We really did love our little house. It was so homey. We would wear slippers around, but I do feel like this is just like leveled up. It's corporate job vibes. You come in, kind of dress a little more elevated because you want to hit the ground running. It feels so good to feel like work. I love that.
Yeah. And there's just more space. We've got room to grow here. We've hired new employees. So we've got more people in the building with us. Chris has an office here. So he's here with us a few days a week, which is kind of fun. But the space is so great. We are finalizing all the decorations and then we're going to do a little tour for you guys so you can see where we work every day. It's been a long process.
It has. I think it's just because it's a different vibe because we were in a house and we were able to make it feel homey. Yeah. Whereas here we're working with concrete floors and white walls and very, like more modern lines. Yep. And so it's just taken a little bit more time to, I guess, make it right for us.
Yeah. But I will say, so I'm going to give a shout out to a few people really fast, but we started this build process in August and, Schmidt and Satterfield were our builders. They are local here in Athens and they were amazing.
10 out of 10 recommend.
Like they came in before schedule. We were moving in, which was kind of unheard of.
It really was.
But like the whole process with them was amazing. They do like some commercial build outs, but they also mostly do a lot of like custom homes and renovations and things like that. So if you're in the Athens area looking for a builder, highly recommend. Taylor and Preston are amazing. And then for our design, we worked with my friend Rachel Webb. She is an interior designer here in Athens, and she helped us with all of the layouts, with all of the design, the wallpaper, the rugs, the decor. Like she has done so much to bring this space to life. And she also worked hand in hand with Taylor during the process. So there were a lot of conversations she was having that just made it so easy for Nichelle and I to, do our jobs and continue and we trusted her and knew that like it was going to be beautiful at the end. So just taking that pressure off was amazing, but she was so great. So if you're looking for somebody to help you with like one room in your house or design an entire house, she's awesome. And she's one of my close friends. So absolutely loved working with her.
She was so easy to work with.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest thing, because you need to find somebody who works with your personality whenever you're working with a designer. She is so easy to work with. And I know for me, the coordinating, her doing all the coordinating was what I feel like. Bless you, Rachel. Thank you.
Yes, it was awesome. So we've had just like a little, like stuff is like still getting delivered, and which is why we haven't really shown a ton of behind the scenes, because I've just kind of wanted it to be fully ready before we like do a big reveal. So that is coming. I promise we will get that over. So make sure you're either tuning to Loverly Gray on Instagram or Life with Loverly, because we'll be kind of doing some cross content on both platforms. So that's kind of where January was like. We were packing up the old house. Yes. We were moving into this new location, which was great. I also found out during that time that I was pregnant, which was like wild, because we were kind of like trying, but just sort of like, let's see what happens. Yeah. So I was pregnant, and then unfortunately I had a miscarriage the same week that we were moving into the office, which was like crazy timing. I mean,
looking back at it, it was such a blur of time.
Such a blur.
Because so much was happening. I, for a little bit, was like, okay, are you processing this?
Yeah, like I wasn't. Yeah. I mean, it was, and we are going to do a whole episode just on the miscarriage, because I think I shared a little bit about the process, or kind of like what was going on right after it happened. And I was just overwhelmed with like people being like, thank you for sharing about this. Like now I feel like I'm not alone, or, I mean, and I didn't realize that would be some of the feedback. Yeah. So we do have an episode coming where I'm going to walk through that. I'm sure that's going to be a really emotional episode, but so that was just kind of a blur. Like we literally there was like no heartbeat. And then the next week we're moving. I ended up having surgery the same week that we moved. And then like the craziest timing, last year, Chris and I booked a 2 weeks at our house. We have a beach house down in Florida that we rent out. But in February, we were like, we're just going to take 2 weeks, take the kids and go down there. So we booked this like 6 months ago. And it happened to be like, we were leaving a week after this miscarriage happened. Yeah. And that trip, like, God knew that we needed that. Like it
1000%
was just complete like renewal of our minds, and just like, I don't know. Like we'll definitely get into more of that. That's just like my safe space down there. And just, there's something about being at the ocean when you're recovering, or just like,
oh yeah, to really be in your thoughts. Yeah. Safely. It feels like.
Exactly. So that trip was like, just exactly what we needed. Some of our best friends went with us for the first part of the trip, and they brought their kids. So our kids just like absolutely loved that. And then just the four of us in our family, we stayed down there for the second week and just had like such a good like family time that we hadn't really had on a trip before. 'Cause usually our extended family comes with us, or other people. So this was really our first time. And the kids are great ages. Collins is 4, Hazel's almost 3. So it like, they just played really well. They like wanted to do stuff. We weren't like restricted to the house for naps. Yeah. There was like freedom. So it was just like February ended up just being like a recovery month, which, at the time, if you would have asked me in the end of January, like, oh yeah, like this is what's going to happen, I would be like, right. I don't know how I'm going to handle that.
Right. Right.
But it ended up being so amazing. And then I come back and the office is like really starting to come together. The team has been able to have like a solid month of like being there. We always call it the office house.
Yeah, it's the office house.
We sold the office house in March. So that was awesome to close on that. And a new family can make that whatever they are going to do with it. It was just, I mean, we loved that house. It was like such a great little season of life.
It's such a great memory to have.
Yeah. It's so funny because I still remember like it was yesterday, Nichelle and I building a case to Chris that like we should buy this house to.
We were like, this is why we need the house and not an office space. Because remember when we were looking at office spaces, they were little, they weren't really like what we would have imagined. And we were like, it's just smarter. It's a smarter investment.
Yeah. Well, and if you think about it, a lot of, I mean, we're in an office now, but there's also aspects of this that I am trying to make like relatable to the consumer.
Yes.
So, if you're getting dressed in your bedroom, like I kind of needed to remake that type of setup somewhere.
Yeah, people are very visual.
Yeah. So we like the house felt cozy. We were able to like style a living room area, giving like followers inspiration. And we're able to do that now. It's just we've just kind of got separation a little bit, but we still have some spaces that we will be able to continue some of that styling. But it's just so great to see like where we've come since those like times of driving around it was just Nichelle and I.
Yeah.
And there was we needed to hire another employee. We couldn't just continue to like have people working out of like the house where I lived.
Mm-hmm.
Our nanny was there with Hazel. It was just too many people in the house.
Yeah.
And so now to see, only like 2 years later, less than 2 years later, we have this amazing space. I'm just proud of like everything that we've accomplished and goals that we've set for ourselves. It's like the sky is truly the limit. Like I think
it is.
If you can put your mind to something and you can like have some people who will support you and back you and like want to see you succeed, like you can absolutely do it.
It's so fun to see those goals that we put on paper 2 years ago. Like they've all come to life.
I remember like sitting in my office at our house, like with a big whiteboard, and like we're on our hands and knees.
We like closed the doors off. We were like, we are off limits.
Yeah, we were like, do not come in here for anything.
Yes.
So it's just been great to see the office like coming to life. And then March, I feel like was busy. I mean, every month has been busy.
I know the year of calm turned into the year of busy.
I know. I'm still manifesting the word of the year, calm.
Calm during the crazy.
Yes. Because I think like I just work best when my like inner self is calm. It might be crazy around me as long as I like can operate from a calm headspace.
Yes.
Which like I haven't always, I mean, that's not every day. Like don't get it wrong. There's definitely some days where I'm like, yeah, we are not calm. Like it is crazy today. But I also had my first Target Live in March.
You did.
Which was so fun and so exciting. By the time you guys listen to this episode, I will actually have done a separate Target Live. We will leave the link for both of those in the show notes if you want to go back and watch them, because there's some great styling ideas and tips and tricks that will be in both of those.
Some great pieces that are still available.
Yeah. But that was such a fun opportunity. Hello, Target is like a dream brand to work with, and somebody that this year I've actually been doing several different paid opportunities with.
It's been a big year for good old Target.
Yeah. So that's been really fun. But just having that like space to do something different, be like, I do so much on Instagram, and to like be on a different platform, like on their website. It was just a really cool opportunity. So I was very thankful. And that just kind of like, I think it will open doors for just some future things that we're working on and have in the works. So that's like going to be exciting.
So exciting.
One thing that I don't want to skip over as we're going in this like chronological order of like this past few months, Nichelle got her boobs done.
Yes, she did.
I mean,
she did.
You guys.
New boobs, new woman.
Literally. Okay, tell us about your surgery and all the things. So when I was gone to the beach, she was recovering.
Yes. We kind of timed that the best that we could.
Yeah.
I think just being the unknown of how it was all going to pan out. But yeah, so I think I made plans to do it in February because we wanted to kind of get through the beginning of the year, the planning of the year. We're really into making sure we set the year up properly and being in a good space with the team, being able for both of us to really leave them.
Yeah.
I mean, really check out. So had the surgery at the end of February and took a week and a half off and came back. So I was the person who was living with the largest breast ever, I feel like.
Literally. From like when you were in high school, she's had huge boobs her whole life.
Yes. And, thank you to both of my grandmothers who supplied me with those genes. My poor mother and sister are like, why? Let me tell you, it's not all it's cracked up to be. I had an H. I was in an H before I had, I know that exists. I was in an H before I had surgery. And I mean, I remember all the way back to, my mom said I was 18. I'm like, Mom, I had a double D's in middle school. School. So I have been wanting this majority of my life. It goes back to, I was in a bra in second grade.
That's crazy.
I know. So my entire life, I was like, I don't want them. And people were always like, oh, I wish I had, boobs. And I'm like, you don't want these. Let me tell you. So it came down to they took almost 1,000 grams off of each one. One of them was a little over 1,000 and one was right under 1,000 grams.
Which was like 3 pounds each?
Yeah, it was a little over 6 pounds.
It's so crazy.
Insane. Immediate weight loss.
Yeah. You're like, let's go.
Bye. And I went down to a D. So I'll probably end up in a D, double D by the time it's all said and done, but feeling great.
Yeah. I feel like you have this air about you. Like you can just hold your shoulders back.
Immediately after the surgery, I was just like, what is this?
It's like the saying a weight lifted off your shoulder, like literally
2 boulders off the shoulders. It's so insane. Like this crop top that I'm wearing today, I've worn repeatedly because I'm able to wear a normal top without it just coming right under my boobs. I'm like, this is what it's like to be normal. So yeah, it's a life-changing surgery for sure.
And Dr. Pittman here in Athens did her surgery. He actually did my surgery 12 years ago when I got implants, and he was awesome then. I feel like you had a great experience with him. And
I seriously would not. I have not been to any other plastic surgeon, but I could not recommend him and his staff more than what I have because they were amazing and still to this day check in on me. How are you doing? Following me on social media, like, oh, that's such a good idea. I need to share that with patients. So they didn't know about the boob pillow.
Oh.
They had never seen that before.
But that was that was a mastectomy pillow that you used in the car. Yes.
It was called a mastectomy pillow, but I used it for many things. Sleeping, number one, because I didn't want my arms squished, my armpits.
Right.
That scar right there is probably the one that bothered me the most, just because you have so much more movement than you think throughout the day, under your arms. So that scar bothered me, but sleeping with my arms out a little bit helped. Sleeping with it on my side helped. Getting in the car, because it took me several weeks to be able to drive without the seatbelt touching me. You know what I mean? So yeah, it was, a lot of people are scared of the pain, but now I look back and I go, guys, it was a blip on the radar.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, this week you will be 8 weeks post-op. And I feel like you're back to doing all of the things you were doing before.
I feel a little weak because I haven't done it in a while, but I'm hanging things on the wall and I'm picking up boxes like I wasn't able to before. And it's, back to normal.
Man. Yeah. Well, you look great. It's been so fun to also just see the confidence that you walk in wearing an outfit that you're I love this. I can wear this now. And I am a proponent of do what makes you feel good.
Right.
If you are self-conscious about something and there's a way to alter it and that's going to make you feel your best version of yourself, by all means, you don't need anybody's approval to do something that you feel is best for you and your body. I know Nichelle did months of research and probably actually years, really.
Years, but whenever it got
Um,
time to like finding somebody, it was, I want to know everything there is to know.
yeah,
And in the process, found out that so many other people want to know, but they don't know where to start,
right,
or they're scared,
right.
and I took that for granted too when I shared everything online. I was really scared people were going to be like clapping back, giving their opinions, and everybody was so supportive
Yeah.
because
Because
I
I'm
don't
mostly like, there's so many people who are like, wait, I'm in the same boat. Like, how
exactly,
did you decide? What did you do?
exactly.
So I don't
It's
know. I
it's
can
crazy.
like, I feel like just
Yeah.
like the giddiness is still, you're still
Yeah.
very like, look at this.
I
I can
know.
wear this now. And then we
I'm
went to
still testing things.
Taryn's
Oh, yes.
vow renewal in
Yes.
Texas, and that you like wore that awesome strapless dress and didn't wear a bra.
No.
And that was
Mm-mm.
like your first time.
I remember a couple of the
Like,
ladies were like, wait, how long ago was your surgery?
yeah.
What was it, 3 weeks at that
Yeah.
time? Yeah, I was like, I'm 3 weeks post-op, and they were like, what?
I know. But it
Yes.
it was so great. And that
Yes.
was like so fun because I feel like that was the start of, okay, I can wear this.
I get to
I
experiment
can
in
wear
it. Yeah.
this. I can wear this. And now we send screenshots back and forth to each other like all the time of, oh, what do you think about this outfit? What do you think about
Yes.
this? And there's so many things that you're sending me now that I'm like, you wouldn't have that as an option before.
No.
Like,
Yeah.
it's exciting.
So speaking of clothing and trying new things, I feel like spring is such a solid season to find like some really good finds when it comes to fashion.
Yes.
Have you had any things that you have had on repeat, or maybe that you're just super loving right now?
Okay, well, for one, these earrings that we actually both have on.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Such a good little Target find. So they're so similar to these Anthropologie ones that I had last year.
Yes.
And I was wearing them a few weeks ago, and a follower actually sent me a text or like a DM and was like, I just bought something so similar to that at Target. And I was like, oh my gosh, really? So we've
Right.
been literally stalking Target until these came out, and they are finally available. And they're so cute. They're really lightweight.
Very
They go with
lightweight.
everything.
Mhm.
I think just like statement earrings in general
Agree.
is like my jam. Like
Yes.
I love a statement earring, whether it's kind of like the woven or like the raffia, or, there's so many different options, pops of color, simple, gold, white. I feel like they can really spruce up an outfit too. One thing I was telling somebody recently is if you have some pieces in your closet that you feel like are kind of blah, but you're maybe not looking to invest at the time on like some new pieces, getting some statement earrings can really elevate your look.
I feel like it just gives you another confidence to
Yeah.
your outfit. I know that the Anthropologie ones that we both found when we were in Dallas.
Yes.
Oh, when I put those on, I think I had on a white t-shirt or blue t-shirt that day, and I was just like,
Like it just
like
like
it just
elevates
so
it.
cute.
You
Yeah.
can take some of your simple t-shirts and put on like a great earring, do a little front tuck with some high-waisted pants and some cute sandals, and like you look put together, and all it took was like a great earring.
Yeah.
It's not like you really had to do much.
Mm-mm.
I even find myself wearing like my hair with this slick back like pony, like a low bun,
Yeah.
and doing a big statement earring, and I just immediately feel put together. And usually when I have my hair like that, it's because it hasn't been washed in several days. So now you know,
A
but
little low maintenance,
yeah, but I still feel like
Yeah.
really good about my hair and my like outfit choice. So those have been awesome. I feel like there's also been some really good shoes.
There have been some amazing shoes.
Sandals right now are like so good.
They are.
You got a pair.
Yes, Robert surprised me with those Sam Edelman ones that I've been wanting so bad. They have a little like pearl
Yeah.
raffia like detailing on them, and they're so comfortable, of course.
Those are good ones that I feel like finding pieces that will carry you from like spring break through all of summer
Yes.
is like where it's at. And right now, even like Target just released like another handful of shoes,
Yes.
and they are all so good. So even if you're looking there, a lot of them are like designer inspired. So if you're wanting something that looks like it's a higher price point, but you don't want to pay that much. I mean, I think most of them are under $30
Yes,
and they're
yes.
super comfortable. Some of my most worn sandals are like Target sandals.
Same. And they've actually lasted season over season too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
agree. But even, I mean, like Nordstrom and Shopbop also
Mhm.
has like the great like staple shoes too. So I feel like I kind of do a mixture of like a lower price point and then a higher price point.
Right.
But I feel like I'm wearing them like about the same amount.
Oh, for sure. And I think that was one of the things that I like told Robert whenever I was like, I really want these, but I couldn't bring myself to buy
Yeah.
them for me. And he heard me and he was like, you said that you'd wear them all the time. And he's like, I'm so glad to see you wearing them all the time. Like,
Yeah.
they are truly one of those pieces that I don't think people would necessarily think of them as a staple, but they truly are because
Mhm.
they've gone with so much at the end
Yeah.
of the day.
Another thing that I feel like now is the time to grab, and I did this last year around this time and like wore this pair of jeans for the whole summer and then some. But this white denim
Oh yeah.
by the brand Mother, I bought them last year at Anthropologie,
Mhm.
and literally those were like the main white jeans I wore all summer, and still to this day, like I love those
Oh
jeans.
yeah.
So they are a little bit more of an investment. Mother denim is a higher price denim. I think this specific pair is like right around like 200 or
Mhm.
215. And but I will say like if I went back and looked at like the cost per wear over the last year, like it would absolutely be worth it.
Oh,
I've
for
worn
sure.
them so many times. And occasionally you can get them on sale. Like Shopbop just recently had a sale and you could get them for like 15% off. So that was like a great time to grab. And I will, of course, keep you guys posted if I see them on sale again. But investing in like a good one pair,
Mhm.
and I do show, like, I like to continue to show other options just because I know like $200 jeans is not everybody's budget. And some
Mhm.
people are not looking to make that investment. But we've been able to find some other similar options.
For sure.
Madewell has a great like
Yes.
theirs are still like around 100. But I know even like some of the Walmart like free assembly brand
Mhm.
jeans have been really great quality. So I think that's one thing right now we're really looking for some of those staple pieces that can carry you throughout an entire season and beyond. And I personally wear white jeans all year round.
I do if I find a
Like,
good pair, and I think that we've done a really good job
yeah,
this year of, like, finding those that aren't gonna show your underwear,
right,
they're not see-through. I
right.
think that's the other thing about buying, the quality denim that's gonna do that for you. You're gonna feel more confident in wearing them over and over and over again.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Like those are the ones I pull for, which is, I don't know, I think there's just something to be said if you're gonna like grab for the same pair of denim
Mhm.
over and over. What
For
other
sure.
pieces have you been loving?
I think that not necessarily that it's a new piece, but I have denim jacket.
Oh my gosh, I know.
Right now is the time that I find myself going for it time and time again because, I have sleeveless on today, but in the morning it's a little bit chillier and
Mhm.
it'll be a little warmer this afternoon. So my denim jacket's my go-to right now. I'm feeling the lighter version this year. I wore
Yeah.
the medium denim a lot last year, but I love the cut of this one. It's a little bit more, I would say, waist
Yeah.
than
Is that the Old Navy
it
one?
is. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the distressed one.
The Old Navy denim jackets are like some of my
Mhm.
favorites. Like even before I was an influencer,
Mhm.
literally I had an Old Navy denim jacket that I wore all the time. And this weekend, I mean, that was like the one jacket that I brought with me when we were in Nashville. I had that one was a little bit more of like an oversized trucker style from Abercrombie, which I think is now sold out. So I'll have to like look for
Oh,
something similar because that one is great. But my, like, tried and true year over year, just classic good fit is the Old Navy
I know.
one.
Think about how many years
I
that has been a
know.
staple in your closet. I mean, I can think back honestly to high school.
Right, right, like, my mom had a denim jacket,
Yeah.
like, that's been forever. That's, like, just a piece everybody needs to have.
Yes, and we actually are gonna have an episode that's gonna be on
Yes.
styling, which I think that's one of the pieces that we've talked about time and time again that we go to for staples.
Yes, that's gonna be a great episode. I feel like I could just, like, keep going on this, but we're gonna save some of that.
Yes.
That is an episode coming up very soon, so we've got
Yes.
lots of great styling tips coming. Okay, one thing that we have been doing like crazy over here is reading.
Oh, yes. Yes.
I mean, we are in the works of figuring out how we're going to do a Loverly Gray book club. So
how fun would that be, guys? To be able to talk about our favorite books together.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we do that in the office, and I kind of get on and just discuss a little bit about what I'm reading. And I've just gotten some feedback from y'all that are like, wait, we want to like keep this discussion with you. So that is coming. We're going to figure out a way to do that. But up in like this, like a month ago is when I read my first Colleen Hoover book.
And you devoured it, didn't you?
Yes.
Yes.
I think so. I just thought they were going to all be similar to Verity.
Because that's what was very popular whenever you started hearing about her. Everybody was on the Verity kick because it had just come out.
Yes.
So that was one of her newest releases.
And you told me about that one, like, and I was kind of like, I don't really know if I want, like, it wasn't really like vibing for me.
No, I was like, this is definitely not her huge at all.
So then I'm glad that I gave it a shot because I've been like addicted.
Yeah. So Colleen Hoover, a lot of her books that are really big right now, they were all written in the early 2010s. So like, I think it was like 2013, 14, 15, 16. Those were when a chunk of them came out. And those were some of the first books I would say that I read. I think I don't even want to admit what I started reading when I really, really got into reading as an adult. Twilight. But, I went down that whole dystopian like roller coaster, and then I went into the, suspense, thriller, and then I got into like romance. Stuff like that. So Colleen Hoover was really one of the first authors that I started like devouring back then, and then Molly McAdams and all of those. Well, I was like, people are talking about Colleen Hoover like she's not like she's new, like
she just came out.
And so I guess TikTok is really what got her up and going again.
Yeah,
good for her. But her books are so good. She is such a great writer.
Ugly Love, November 9th.
Yes.
I mean, I cried. At the end of those.
Yes.
So good.
And I know we're a lot alike in this aspect where we just can't stop thinking about it through the day. Like what's going to happen next? What are they doing?
I know.
And then after the book, you're just constantly thinking about it again.
Yeah,
but I think
that's
what
more.
Right. I think that's what a good author does though.
Yes.
A good author makes you just really want to like dive in, be with them, really understand and be in that novel.
Yeah. It's funny because one day we were both reading and we were going to drive. We were driving somewhere for like a meeting, and then we were going to pick up lunch and come back and like eat our lunch back here. And when we got in the car to like go to our meeting, I was like, do you just like want to put your headphones in and I'll put mine in?
I think
and,
you like joked. You were like, we could totally put our AirPods in and listen to our book. And we both were like, okay.
And I was like, she was like, yeah, okay, great. I was like, okay, thank God. And so we literally rode in silence listening to our books. And then we got our lunch and came back here and continued to like listen which is not the norm. I mean, normally we're like talking and working and doing whatever. But for whatever reason, I think we were just trying to finish the book. Or maybe it was like, I don't know if you and I were reading the same. You read one.
Yes. So we talked you into reading Ugly Love first, which
No, the first one was whatever when they're making a movie.
It Ends With Us.
It Ends With Us.
Okay.
That was my first Colleen Hoover. And then I read It Begins With Us, or whatever the next one is. Starts With Us. And then I read November 9.
Ugly Love, then November 9.
No, I think I read a November 9 first. Because I didn't want to read Ugly Love because I read the back and I was like, this guy is like being not cool with his requests.
Right.
You know?
You were like, I'm not about reading that.
Yeah, because I was like, this seems like it's like all he wants to do is like, there's, he just wants sex, but no, like any relationship. So I was like, I don't foresee this being good.
Right.
Oh my gosh. Was I wrong? Literally do not judge a book by its cover. Like that is.
No, I will say we did find out though, that you were pretty much you wanted to dismiss every other book after that of hers because you were like, okay, this next one is not that good. The next one is not that good because it really does set a high expectation.
I know.
So maybe start with their other ones first and then get to that one. But they're all really good. They're all so good.
Yeah. I'm reading some of Lucy's scores right now.
I told her not to do it, guys.
You guys.
But
I mean, I don't know if we're going to need to like throw an E on this podcast.
I know, right?
Episode. Well, Elizabeth, let us know. But like the sex in her books, I'm like, oh my God.
So the ones that you were reading, which remind me, I know it's Things We Hide from the Light is the second one. The first one to that. Things We Never Got Over?
Yes.
Okay. So Things We Never Got Over, good. And there was a lot of sex going on in that one.
Yeah. I mean, I was like, did he just
I know.
say, like,
and we were on Audible too. That's part of the thing.
Audible, when they're like reading it out, you all like.
And it's a guy.
I mean, they're literally describing everything that is like happening.
Yeah.
And like.
I know, we all kind of were like, you can tell
it's like a little like, oh God. It's so funny because I will listen and like it'll pop in my car. So if Chris and I like get in the car and then all of a sudden it's like the book starting and he's like, I'm like, oh, stop.
We're okay. We don't need to listen to that.
He was like, what are you listening to? I'm like, I don't know. There's just like a spicy scene. Okay. So yeah, that's been one thing. And I don't, obviously not every author is like that, but Lucy's score definitely seems
if you
to
like
be
a little
descriptive.
Spice, then she is very descriptive. I was on one that was a narrator's point of view. So it was a narrator telling the story and she was doing the voices for everyone in the story. And I was like, don't read it. Don't read it. Yeah. I felt a little traumatized.
I kind of felt like a little embarrassed.
I know.
Like listening.
You're coming up to a red light and you're like, volume down. Nobody's looking.
That's like the other day you pulled into park and like I could hear your book on. Like I was in the office, but that
was the end of that book.
Yeah. And I was like, I could hear like the person talking, but I couldn't like really make out the words. But I was like, I wonder what like part of the book this is.
I wouldn't have had it that loud for sure. Okay, so I feel like we could go on and on and on about books, but so we're going to actually talk like book club style in a few episodes. We clearly are very passionate about books. So.
Well, and we want to be able to we're figuring out how we can create something that you guys can join us in the books and we can discuss them, but it won't give stuff away.
Right.
But we can have a discussion. Maybe we'll even bring some of our other team members in because we're all like, I mean, I feel like once a week we're like, okay, have you finished that? What are you going to read next? Oh, I finished this. It's like, we're just discussing books and not even just like this type of book. Like I think there's we've read a lot of different genres and things like that. So there will be some variety here.
Right.
I think some of these like romancy ones are more like fun to discuss.
It's like a nice escape, you know?
Yeah. So we're going to figure out how to bring this all back so you guys can join us in some of these as well.
Right. Now, one of the things we're going to talk about, like if you had any TV shows, because I'm sure people would love to know what to catch up on, what's good out there. One of mine is a segue. So I read this book last year, Christy Bush, one of Diana's friends. She told me, she was like, if you love music, which I do.
Yeah.
I'm that person. She's like, you have to read Daisy Jones and the Six. But also Taylor Jenkins Reid is just an amazing author. And I was like, okay. I downloaded it as soon as I got back and devoured it. Devoured it, guys. So they came out with a show. Yeah. It wasn't a movie. It was actually a show. And I was very hesitant to watch it at first because I was like, why wouldn't they just do it a movie? Why would they do it a TV show? Are they going to go that slow? So, I didn't watch it for weeks because I was like, I just don't know if I can commit to it. I'm not bought in. So it's on Prime. 100 out of 10 recommend.
Okay.
100 out of 10 recommend. So the great thing about it being it's a mini series. It's not like season 1 or season 2 or whatever. It's a mini series. It's 10 episodes and they're all an hour or a little bit more longer. So you get 10 hours.
Wow.
You get 10 hours from the book. So they were able to put so much emotion into it that you normally don't get in a movie. That's so much more detail in it than you would normally get from that translation from book to movie. So I it left me speechless for just days. I was like, I have a TV book hangover right now. I can't even think about anything else.
Well, so I was telling you the other day, Lauren McBride, who is an influencer as well, she, I guess, is also like a huge fan because she did like 3 or 4 reels and like created some content where she just like took on like the Daisy Jones persona.
It was very inspired. Yes.
Oh my gosh, it was so cool. Another thing about Lauren McBride, if you guys don't follow her, I think she changed her Instagram to I am Lauren McBride. She has a podcast where she only does like book reviews. So if you are like looking for somebody like who is like hardcore about it, check her out.
Lauren, I'm coming to find you.
Yes. So they started that, I think like maybe a year or 2 ago. But anyway, if you want some more suggestions, and then she did the Daisy Jones like tribute. And I was like, this is hilarious.
Yes.
So we are currently watching The Night Agent.
Oh yeah.
It is really good. What did we watch right before that? Shrinking.
Oh yes.
That one is on Apple.
Did you enjoy it?
I think so good.
Okay.
Like the story, like everything about it was so real.
Oh.
Like just like relatable.
Okay. Yeah.
Like, I mean, so funny. Chris was like belly laughing at certain parts. And I feel like it takes a lot to get him like really laughing.
Yeah.
Because typically I feel like we're much more like serious TV shows like FBI, 24, Quantico, like kind of more of those like police, like here's this crime we're going to solve.
Right.
Like that's kind of the vibe we've liked. So Night Agent has been really fun and good. Because it's like shifted back and forth a lot. Oh, so I'm kind of interested.
Sure I'd like it. One of the girls in the office, actually, she said that she watched it for the plot. And I was like, really? And she goes, the plot. And like pointing to the guy.
The Night Agent? Yeah. He's cute. I was like, who is this guy?
Right.
I know. Yeah, he's cute. So that one's been a good show. I feel like there's always like so many shows. We were with Rick and Taryn this weekend and just talking about shows, and like we were both just going back and forth on those 2 shows about like how good they were. They said like we won't see The Night Agent, like the way it ends is going to be kind of like you won't see it coming. So I'm like,
I think
we have the last episode tonight. So I'm like, okay,
yeah, you gotta get there and watch it. Yeah. Oh my gosh, I love that.
I mean, obviously we could go on and on about like TV shows and books. We're gonna bring it all back, and we'll have some more great episodes in the future with that type of content specifically. So that is coming.
Yes.
But as we wrap up today's episode, just want to give you guys a glimpse into like what's coming up this season.
Yes.
One really exciting thing we're going to be doing is video content.
Ta-da!
So you
YouTube.
Can watch this episode if you want, which I feel like we need to remember that this is like, there's been some times I've just been like so intently like looking at you.
I know. I hope you enjoy the side of my profile.
I know. I have my purple boots on today. I don't know if you guys can see them. So we've got some video content coming, which is going to be really, really fun because that's like a new way people are listening to podcasts. But this season, we're also going to be covering topics like women's health guide that you didn't get in school. We're going to be interviewing somebody that has just like a ton of knowledge and is going to share a lot. And her Instagram has so much great content. So I'm excited for that conversation. We are also going to get into how to have the talk with your kids.
I'm so excited about this, even though I'm past that, but just for knowledge.
Yes. We talked about this in like a previous season about just like being a safe place for your kids to come.
Yes.
And so there is a team that we are going to interview that this is what they do. They like share how to have these like tough conversations and like starting those conversations really early.
Yep.
So that is going to be coming up, which is nice. And then of course we've got lots of like fashion, beauty, decor. I actually have a pretty like large secret I've been keeping that I will be revealing on the podcast first in a few episodes. I'm honestly so excited to have this episode so I can finally get this off my chest.
Yes. I mean,
so I can start talking about
exactly,
it.
Exactly.
So that is coming in like 2 or 3 episodes. That's going to be a good one.
Lots of us, current events.
Yeah.
Keeping the people in the know.
Yeah. I'm going to bring my mom back on at
and
some
Shay.
point. Shay.
Yes.
Yeah. It's going to be so fun. I feel like we've got a lot of great content coming up. If there's anything that you guys want to see, please feel free to send us a DM on Instagram at Life with Loverly. You can email us. You can reach out on our website. Speaking of our website, we do have a little bit of merchandise left. So, which is exciting. If you weren't able to grab some last season, there are a few pieces left, and then once it's gone, it's gone. So if there's something from the Life with Loverly merch line that you want, which we'll show some more of that on Instagram so you guys can get a refresher on what our exciting merch is, that is an option. And then, of course, just make sure that you are subscribing wherever you listen to your podcast. Just hit the subscribe button so you get first dibs and easy access to every episode. And then also on YouTube so that you never miss a beat.
Love it. Well, today's been fun.
I know. I'm so excited to get back into it. I feel like we're both like grinning from ear to ear. We've got just so many amazing topics. And I feel like just the current events and us going back and forth has just been something that I've missed not recording for a little while. And I can't wait to hear y'all's feedback, but we're so thankful that you're back with us for another season. And yeah, until next time, friends, we'll talk to you soon.
Bye.